the bigger impact is really going to be on garment and exporters, and especially given that this is just coming at the beginning of the festive season and holiday season as well. Let's try and understand that a little bit better. We've got Mithileshwar Thakur, Secretary General at AEPC, joining in on the show right now. Mr. Thakur, good to have you on ET now. Ballpark assessment from you, sir. Should this 25% tariff be implemented for Indian apparel exporters, especially when competitors like Vietnam are enjoying preferential access to the US? How big could the blow be, sir?
Good morning. Well, you see, the US, of course, there's no doubt saying that it is one of the largest market, across all the products and services, including in textile and apparel. In fact, you see how important it is, this market is, can be gauged from the fact that US occupies almost 33% of India's share in apparel exports, accounting for almost 5.8%, in the import share in the US market. And the only three countries which are ahead of India are China, of course, occupying 22% of share, followed by Vietnam, some 18%, and Bangladesh from 8.9%. But the point is, we were expecting this tariff to settle somewhere around 20%. In that case, it would have been okay because, our major competitors, say Bangladesh, has been slapped with a high duty of 35% and China 30%. So, and we would have been at par with Vietnam. But the entire, I would say the apple cart has been upset by introduction of the additional clause of penalty, in case of India's engagement with Russia on import of armaments and, energy. And that is where, this has pushed Indian garment trade into the zone of uncertainty. So this is something which I think we have to come to terms with. But I sincerely believe that this is only a temporary phase because this was surprising, given the fact that we were one of the first countries to approach US for BTA negotiations, given the fact that the BTA talks are ongoing, given the fact that the current leadership enjoys the best relationship with USA. So this was something very surprising. It has been kind of a shocker because, mind you, this reciprocal tariff is in addition to MFN tariff. So if you have a tariff of say 16% on export of goods to USA, 25% would be added, and then you have the unknown commodity of penalty. There is no clarity on how much the extent of this will be. So this is like pushing, at the cost of being repetitive, let me tell you, it is pushing, the trade into a zone of uncertainty. But I believe things should get resolved sooner rather than later. I believe the government will swing into action quickly and resolve this crisis.
Right, Mr. Thakur, so well, yes, like you mentioned, lots of variables on the table right now, and we're hoping to get some clarity as well. But give us a sense of what the impact of this 25% number could be on the orders that Indian textile players currently have, the exports we have from India, and also like Aisha was mentioning, we're just at the cusp of the festive season. Any slowdown, if we can pencil in on this overall sales and exports this year on the back of this tariff announcement?
We had carried out some kind of analysis, Actually, India has some kind of a cost disadvantage, 3 to 4% in cotton garments as compared to Bangladesh and Vietnam. And in synthetic garments, that is MMF garments, it is 11 to 13%. So our analysis revealed that if this Liberation Day tariff sets at around 15%, then in US market, we would be more competitive compared to Bangladesh and Vietnam across all segments, cotton and synthetic garments. But that was not to be. Even at 25%, I think we are cost competitive against Bangladesh in cotton garments. But the unknown commodity of penalty, that is something which is, which has kind of upset the entire equation as such.
But also understand.
And of course, see, this is not the, it's a lean season for us. I think from September onwards, the peak season will start. I believe the sixth round of talk actually is supposed to be somewhere by the end of the August. I believe by the time the talk starts, I think things should settle down. And I believe there will be greater clarity. And I think things will should, because with the intervention of the top leadership, I think, we should be able to tide over this crisis.
Indeed, but sir, do you believe that in the future it becomes even more critical now for India to actually go ahead and fast track the FTAs like we have done with the UK or maybe EU to reduce the dependence on the US market?
Absolutely. If you see India is negotiating with almost every country now. The UK deal has been finalized. India is in top. I mean, a very advanced stage. This India-EU deal is there. We are negotiating with Peru, Chile. All you name an important market, and India is in trade negotiations with that. See, US negotiating is something different from this. This liberation day tariff, is on the platform of illegality. This was invoked using what you call International Emergency Economic Protection Act. That's a federal law which empowers US president basically to impose duty in case of emergency. This has been held illegal by none other than the US Court of International Trade. Of course, it has been stayed by the appellate court. So, and what US actually is doing, it is not eliminating or reducing its own MFN tariff. Unlike normal FTAs, where each partner country, gives concession on MFN tariff, US is giving concession on this illegally foisted tariff and seeking exemption on MFN tariff from other countries. It's a completely, a different kind of a scenario. But like your market diversification is the order of the day, and I think Indian apparel trade and of course Indian businesses are seeking every possibility to diversify markets.
Sure, Mr. Thakur, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your thoughts of what the impact could be on the entire garment space, the textile space, and the exports from this end of the market as well.